Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to online class. Welcome to online madrasa class. Let me first introduce myself. I am Jahangir, assistant teacher of English, Shahpur Dimukhi Dakhil Madrasa. Today, I will take an English class before you. Our today's topic is clause. Do you know what is clause, dear student? Clause is a group of words that contain a subject and a finite verb, and it works as a part of a big sentence. Then you know, clause is a group of words that contain a subject and a finite verb. Every clause must have a subject and a finite verb, and it works as a part of a big sentence. Please listen to me very carefully and look at the board. Here I have written 3 sentences. The first one, everybody likes him because he is honest. In this sentence, we see 2 clauses. The first one, everybody likes him. This is a clause because in this clause, we see a subject, everybody, and a finite verb, likes. Everybody likes him because he is honest. Then we can see that everybody likes him is an individual sentence. On the other hand, because he is honest is another individual sentence. And these 2 sentences combinedly express a meaning and make a sentence. Everybody likes him because he is honest. Everybody likes him is a clause. On the other hand, because he is honest is another clause. The next sentence, I know the boy who came here yesterday. I know the boy. This is a clause. Who came here yesterday is another clause. Here we see a subject in the first sentence, I know the boy. I is the subject of this sentence, of this clause. Know is finite verb. On the other hand, who is a conjunction and came is another finite verb. Then we can see that a clause must have a subject and a finite verb. Every clause must have a subject. It may be expressed or understood. It may be silent sometime, but finite verb must have a sentence. Now next sentence, if you come is a clause because here we see you, subject, come, finite verb. And the next part of the sentence, I shall go. This is another clause, I shall go. This is subject, I shall go, finite verb. So we can see here that every clause must have a subject and a finite verb. So we can give a definition of clause that A clause is a group of words that contain a subject and a finite verb, and it works or it does the work as a part of a big sentence. Now, dear learners, listen to me very carefully. Give attention on the blackboard. Kinds of clauses. How many kinds of clauses do you know? Actually, clauses mainly are of three types. The first one is principal clause. Principal clause is a clause on which the subordinate clause depends. Then what is subordinate clause? Next, subordinate clause is a clause that is depend on another clause. And the third number is coordinate clause. Coordinate clause is when two or more same type of sentences are connected by a coordinating conjunction, then it is called coordinating conjunction clause. Now, we can see that clauses are of three types. The first one is principal clause, second subordinate clause, and third coordinate clause. So, we can see clauses are of mainly three types: principal, subordinate, and coordinate. Okay. Now, let us see the example of principal clause, subordinate clause, and coordinate clause. Okay, my dear students, please pay attention. Now, we know what is principal clause. A principal clause is a clause on which subordinate clause depends. Actually, principal clause is a independent clause. It can express a meaning. It can express a complete meaning, such as everybody likes him because he is honest. Here, everybody likes him is a principal clause. Next sentence, I know the boy who is honest. In this sentence, I know the boy is a principal clause. And the next, it is true that he has come. It is true is a principal clause because it expresses a clear meaning. A principal clause is always express a complete sense. That's why its another name is independent clause or free clause. On the other hand, subordinate clause is a dependent clause, that is depend then on principal clause, like because he is honest, who is honest, that he was calm. This is the example of subordinate clause. I know the boy, this is principal clause, but who came here is subordinate clause, because this clause depend on principal clause to express its meaning. And we can see, if we follow this type of sentence, we can see that every subordinate clause must have a conjunction before it, like who, if, because, who, and that. These are conjunction, and this conjunction sit before dependent clause or subordinate clause. Now come to the coordinate clause. Coordinate clause is a clause when two or more same type of sentences are connected by a coordinating conjunction. Dear students, listen to me very carefully. Coordinate clause is a clause when two or more same type of sentence, like I sent him a letter and he replied. I sent him a letter and he replied. Here we see two same type of sentence. One is I sent him a letter and the another is he replied. And these two sentences are connected with a coordinating conjunction and. The next, the boy who is honest. The boy who is honest but helpless. Here, the boy is honest and the boy is helpless too. But these very same type of sentences are connected with a coordinating conjunction but. Next sentence, do or die. Do or die. This is also an example of coordinating clause. Do or die. Do is a principal clause. On the other hand, die is also a principal clause. And these two clauses are connected with a coordinating conjunction or. That's why we can tell that this sentence is an example of coordinating clause. Then we may say clauses are of three types. Number one, principal clause. It expresses a full meaning without helping any type of clauses. Like everybody likes him because he is honest. I know the boy who is honest. It is true that he has come. In the above three sentences, we see three examples of principal clauses. Everybody likes him. I know the boy. It is true. This is principal clause. On the other hand, the other part of these sentences are subordinate clause because these three types of sentence depends on principal clause to express its meaning. Like, I know the boy who came here. Who came here is a subordinate clause because it completely depends on principal clause to express its meaning, and a conjunction is before that very clauses. If you come, I shall go. If you come, I shall go. If you come, this is an example of subordinate clauses, and the other part of this sentence is principal clauses. Now, subordinate clause you have already learned. This may have two same type of sentences connected with coordinating conjunction. What is coordinating conjunction? Coordinating conjunction is a conjunction that connect two similar sentences and express its individual meaning. I sent him a letter and he replied. The boy is honest but helpless. Do or die. Here we see three coordinating conjunction and, or, but. There are so many coordinating conjunction like both, add, as well as not only but also, and many blah blah blah. But here we see three sentences. Okay, dear students, now we see how clauses play a vital role of making three types of sentences like simple, complex, and compound. Then come to know what is simple sentence, what is complex sentence, and what is compound sentence, and how clause plays a significant role of making this type of sentence. Okay, dear learners, now we will see three types of sentence. According to structure, sentences are of three types. Number one, simple sentence. Number two, complex sentence. And number three, compound sentence. Now let's come. What is simple sentence? Actually, simple sentence is a sentence that contains only one subject and one finite verb. Again, a simple sentence is a sentence. A simple sentence is a sentence that contains only one subject and one finite verb. For example, let's see, he goes to school every day. He goes to school every day. Here, he is the subject of this sentence and goes is a finite verb. Next sentence, the girl plucked a flower. The girl plucked a flower. In this sentence, the girl is subject and plucked is a finite verb. So we can tell that this is an example of a simple sentence. Next, come to the complex sentence. What is complex sentence? Complex sentence is a sentence that contains one principal clause and one or more subordinating clauses. Again, a complex sentence is one that contains one principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. This is the boy. Who did it? In this sentence, we see that this is the boy is a principal clause and who did it is a subordinate clause. These two types of clauses combinedly make a sentence that's called complex sentence, because in this sentence we get a principal clause and a subordinate clause. Next sentence, we waited until he came. We waited until he came. Here, we is a subject. We is a subject and this is verb. Waited is verb. So, we waited is a clause, is a principal clause. On the other hand, until he came is another clause called subordinate clause. And these two types of clauses combinedly make a full sentence, complex sentence. We waited until he came. I hope you all understood. You all have understood what I say. Now, compound sentences. Please, dear learners, pay attention on the board. compound sentence. A compound sentence is one that contains two or more principal clauses connected by a coordinating conjunction. Like, I went there and found him ill. I went there. This is a principal clause. And found him ill is another principal clause. These two principal clauses make a sentence that is compound sentence. And here an is a conjunction. What type of conjunction it is? Exactly. This is coordinating conjunction. Now next sentence, he is weak but he can walk. He is weak is a principal clause. He can walk is another principal clause. And these two type of sentences make a compound sentence connecting with a conjunction but. The next sentence, do the work or I shall punish you. Do the work is a principal clause also, and the other sentence, I shall punish you, is also another principal clauses connected with a conjunction or subordinating conjunction or. And these two type of sentence make a full sentence compound sentence. So we can see that according to structure, sentences are of three types: simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. Remember that simple sentence must have a subject and a finite verb. Subject sometimes may silent or understood, expressed. Complex sentence must have a principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. On the other hand, compound sentence reveal two individual same type of sentences connecting with a conjunction, coordinating conjunction. You must have remembered that. You should bear in mind that coordinating conjunction, without coordinating conjunction, we can make compound sentences. Okay, my dear student, you know already, you have understood what is clauses and how they work making these three type of sentences: simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. In our next class, we will see how this type of sentences transform from one sentence to another. Till then, this is all for today. No more today. There are other classes too. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Bye bye.